It's the Spotter Stand Live. Starring BSR Pockets, BSR Hot Rod, BSR Momo, BSR Jova, BSR Scar, BSR SR5, Eddie D, featuring BSR Wings, Bubba J, Vince Conway, BSR Rugrat, Gear, Big Rito, Palmion, Randy Seeley, musical guest, BSR Mayhem, and your host, BSR Texan. Ladies and gentlemen, BSR Texan.
All right, welcome back to the Spotter Stand, everybody. And I'm pretty sure Larry did that on purpose, talking over the intro. Come on, man. You know, as soon as I unmute, I'm just waiting for that thing to end so I can bring us in. Come on now.
I have to. That's like my job, I thought.
I'm going to start moving to a different room to do the intro, and then I'll just come back into the lobby here when it's done. That's about the only way I'm ever going to be able to stop that talking over the intro thing. Come on now.
Has anybody taught you how to say the call letters correctly?
The call letters.
It's WNBC.
I see Momo out there in the chat. Chad needs to make a new intro. Couldn't understand him.
Well, hopefully by next week it'll be done. I'm still waiting on my audio interface. Sweetwater has been a little back ordered on their new interface.
Yeah, we are starting the chase. Maybe by the time the Cup and the Xfinity chase start, maybe we'll have a new intro going. Who knows? Maybe by then I'll make a few more videos, and I will actually get our videos updated here. Have some extra stuff on YouTube and put some new videos on for the intro and extra of my my stream and the Spotter Stand. Well, let's get right into it. The chase has started for the Truck Series. We have run our very first chase race in the 2020 season at Kentucky in the trucks, and the sweeper has awakened. If anybody remembers, we'll get that reference. You gonna get that reference? What's up, Mr. Kulong? How you doing, man?
Good, how are y'all doing?
Good to see you. We're just getting started here on the Spotter Stand, so you made it right in time, right on time. So Mayhem, did you get that sweeper has awakened reference?
I did not. It must be
not?
from something I'm not familiar with.
Dune.
No, I never saw
Never
it.
seen Dune? Oh,
No,
okay.
sir.
All right. Well, I guess I'm just too old. I'm showing my age here. So yeah. Anyway,
That's funny.
Mayhem, as you can see, it looks like he took the pole and won the race on Wednesday night. So Mayhem starting out the Truck Series chase as good as you can with the pole and the victory. Great job, man. Congratulations. And great race on Wednesday night.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, it was hooked up. It was a beast, as I say. Stanley was the beast. And if you don't get that reference, you're not that old.
Well, Mr. Kulong, who just joined us, had a great race on Wednesday night as well. Mike had a good truck and a great run Wednesday night in the Truck Series at Kentucky. Let's go over here and take a look at our race results from Wednesday night's truck race at Kentucky.
Yes, Mayhem with the win. Mike second, Texan third, Sean Fredrickson got fourth, and Momo rounds out top five.
So Mayhem definitely dominated that race. Looks like he led 53 laps. It was only an 80 lap race, a bit of a short race at Kentucky, but 53 of 80 led most of the race. Mike Coulong led 16 laps. So Mike also had a great truck, and I believe we did finish this under green. As you can see, 0.35, 3/10 of a second back was Mike Coulong, trying to run Mayhem down for that win.
I was just too tight. I mean, I didn't make a late race adjustment, which is that's on me. So, but good win, Mayhem.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, it was a great race for sure. It was a lot of competition.
And I had nothing for either of you at the end of that race. I did, however, have a great run with Sean. Myself and Sean had a great race, good little battle at the end of that race. The last couple of laps, we ran several laps side by side, and I managed to just barely squeak by him on the outside just before the end of the race to take third place. That was fun. We had a great race Wednesday night. It was a lot of fun.
I was using a version of your setup too, Texan.
Well, thank you. That's why I put them out there. It gives everybody at least something. If you don't got something great or good to start out with, and my sets aren't always the best, but they're usually decent. And I do fairly well throughout the season, so at least it gives you a good starting point. Everybody's got a little bit of a different driving style, and you're able to tweak to your style of driving and what feels good to you, and usually have something pretty good.
Maybe we need to have a rule that if like you finish ahead of somebody when you're running their setup, you've got to give them that updated setup back to the guy that made the initial one. So
You don't gotta, but you're welcome to anytime. So bonus points have been added in. If you take a look at these total points over here, it's not your normal what you would end up with for the race. You see Mayhem with 66, and you see me back there in third place with 72. What we do is we have the finishing order of the race, and then we go in, and Larry will manually add whatever bonus points you had at the end of the regular truck season to your finish of the first race of the chase. So that's where all these points.
I'm in trouble.
Well, you did have, I think you had 4 bonus points coming into this, which wasn't a ton. You had
like
4.
I said, I'm in trouble.
Yeah, let's go take a look at our
Not really.
at our standings here. With just one race behind us, 9 races left to go. So Mayhem with the win did do well here in the first race of the chase. Still leaving him in second place though after bonus points were added in. I do have the lead at the moment, 6 points over BSR Mayhem. In third place, it's SS Joba down by 16 points. Then we've got a tie for fourth place between Pockets and Momo, both down by 17 points. Eddie D in sixth place, down by 18 points. And Gear Jammer, if you're out there, you'll be glad to see. You probably saw yourself in the standings there, 11th place. You had some technical difficulties, were not able to make the first race of the chase, but you did receive provisionals. You're allowed one and only one provisional in the chase of all 3 of these series. So you got 11th place points for that first race, and then your bonus points were added to that, which currently puts Gear and Hot Rod tied for 7th place, back by 24 points. Palmian in 9th place, back by 25, and Mike Coulong and Sean Fredericks tied for 10th place, back by 26. So, as you can see, Mike, you're not in that bad of shape, considering that you were only able to get to a handful of races before this season ended, and we went into the chase.
Yeah, hell, you're only 2 points. You're only 2 points behind me, and I made every freaking race.
Yeah, I got no room for error, I guess.
Yeah, you gotta put together nine more great races, and hope for some of the guys up here at the front to have at least one, maybe two bad races somewhere here in the Chase, which, it can definitely happen. It happens to all of us. Hell, last year for the Cup Series championship, I blew fourth gear in the final race, and lost it by 1 point. So, it can happen. That's for sure. Myself and Mayhem have a bad race or two. And if you had 9 races where you're able to pull off that second place finish, top 2, top 3 in all of those 9 races, you're going to be right there in the hunt come down the last race at Phoenix.
Guess we're supposed to stop him.
Yeah, one thing that I didn't do, let's go back over here to the schedule for a second. Let's run down this Chase schedule right quick. So Kentucky already out of the way. We will be off this coming up week. And actually, are we off for 2 weeks? Because the next
Yes,
next race, July 29th, will be Eldora. So we'll be in the dirt at Eldora for our next truck race.
Off 2 weeks. Both weeks are dirt and back to the dirt, so we got 3 weeks straight of dirt.
And Larry, you need to tell me what a good lap is at Eldora in a truck. Like what kind of time?
Qualifying time last year was 14.5, somewhere around that. We lost all the stats when
Race trim is really more what I was just. I need some kind. I don't know what to shoot for.
your Q speed is going to be basically your race time there. You're not going to drop off. Your car's going to get a little looser because your tires will not get hot like they do at a road course. They actually go the other way. They actually cool off and go to 0 temperature.
Boy.
Yeah.
What kind of time?
I believe Larry has got a setup in the
He
file
already
browser.
got.
I have the setup.
He gave him the track and the setup. So I hooked him up, Texan.
I'm sure we'll be in here at some point practicing Eldora before we get to this race in a couple of weeks, and you'll get opportunity to run with some of the other drivers and see what it's like on the track with other cars around you and how it's going to race.
Actually, are you racing tomorrow night, Mike?
Possible.
I don't know. I don't know what your other race schedule is, so that's why I was asking.
I'm not racing. I haven't anything scheduled for tomorrow night. I'm. If you want to set up a practice sometime, I'd love to join you.
I will gladly set up Eldora for practice tomorrow if you're interested.
Oh, yeah, I am.
So after Eldora, it looks like the very next week we will be at Michigan. Great track. That's going to be an awesome race at Michigan in the trucks. Then we move over to Gateway Night. Then we get our only road course for the Truck Series. Canadian Tire will be the only road course in the Truck Series. Then we're going to
Motorplex. That's what that stands for. Gateway or Canadian Tire Motorplex. That's what that stands for.
And that'll be our halfway point. Then we'll move over to Bristol Night, Las Vegas, Talladega, Martinsville, and we will finish up the Chase at Phoenix. So
that's going to be a very interesting last race for the year.
Phoenix, one of my favorite tracks. I love this Phoenix 2011 track that we run. The corner entrance, turn 1. That's where it's all about. Getting a good entry into turn 1 so that you can power off that corner, turn 2, and really hold the pedal down and get a great run down the back stretch before you go into 3. So I've gotten that down pretty well, and I usually run good at Phoenix in all of these different cars. So it runs pretty well. I'm looking forward to the last race of the season in all these series.
Hey, can I get a restart?
It's official.
It's official. You'll have to come in a couple laps down. I'm sure you'll be able to make that up though. No problem.
Yeah, I can get the lucky dog. I'm eligible for the lucky dog.
That's
so.
right. So let's move on then to Thursday night. Let's see, but Thursday night was the Cup Series. Also ran at Kentucky, and this second segment just seems to be flying right on by. I mean, we're already 7 races in to 13 races in segment 2, leaving only 6 races left to go. Kentucky, Thursday night in the Cup Series, and it was Mike Coulon who pulled off a great lap to take the pole. And once again, BSR Mayhem took the victory on Thursday night in the Cup Series. So that's 2 back-to-back. Wednesday night, Thursday night. Mayhem's got Kentucky down. No doubt about that. You've got a great setup in the CTS and in the Cup for this track, Mayhem.
I got to tell you, yeah, Wednesday night, the CTS Physics, I do have a great setup. Late practice Hail Mary. I found a set. I threw it in. I said, what the hell? And it turned in all the places that my previous setups would not turn. And I said, this is the one. I started tweaking on it. And I got it to drive very similar to my truck set, where I could be very aggressive and not really wear the tires. And it was there. It just came out fantastic. I just knew I had to keep it steady. And, you know, you guys are running much closer to me than when during Wednesday night, but it was still a great setup, and I had a lot of fun at that track.
Yeah, Kentucky, a great track. It's got a good high line. You can use the high line in this track, especially it seems if you get to the outside of a car, you have the advantage. It's opposite most tracks. Usually you want to pass on the bottom. If you get that low lane, you got the advantage. You're going to be able to get the pass coming off the corner. But this track, completely opposite. When you get that high side, you have the advantage on the guy on the low side just because you're going to be able to get a good solid run coming off the corner. Whereas the guy on the bottom, he's going to push a little bit. So he's going to have to lift, which is going to give the guy on the outside that advantage coming off the corner. And produced a lot of great racing all week long. So let's go take a look at our results from Thursday night's Cup race at Kentucky.
Yes, Mayhem with the win. Texan finished second. Mike Coulon finished third. The rookie finishes fourth, and Gear rounds out the top 5.
Look at that, the rookie Palmian, 4th place finish in the Cup race at Kentucky. He led a lap in there. Great job, Palmian. Awesome finish. Palmian, one of the least experienced. He joined us just toward the end of I believe it was, the end of the season last year. He ran the off season with us and has run this whole Cup season. But that is the full extent of his sim racing experience. Not even a full year of sim racing under his belt, and already pulling off some great finishes here in some of these tougher series. The Cup, definitely the hardest one to run. The setups are looser, the tires wear off faster, and great job pulling off that 4th place. And again, you can see Mayhem's domination of this race. 80-lap race, Mayhem leads 71 of them. Man, that last minute setup definitely paid off for you. 71 laps led. I only managed to lead 1 lap in that race. That was it. I don't think I had to stay out under caution to get that. I led that legitimately. I was able to pass for the lead, but it was only for 1 lap, and it was taken right back away from me. So, at least I got the 1 lap in there. And Mike Coulon, again, with a great finish on Thursday night, 3rd place. Yeah, I got to say, Mike, it's great to have you and Sean racing over here. Both of you guys, I've said it before, I'll say it again. Awesome, clean racers. Good, fast cars and great competition. It's great to have some more drivers in here that are running at the front and challenging for the lead and some wins. And especially yourself have gotten several wins in this Cup Series so far since you've joined us. So, yeah, it's great to have you over here and have you racing with us.
I appreciate it. I've enjoyed running with you guys. You guys are some good racers. So, and clean racers too. That's what makes it more enjoyable.
for the most part.
So let's go to the standings here in the Cup Series with just 6 races left to go, and that wouldn't be the standings, would it? I don't know what I just pulled up. Thursday Cup, and I don't want the Chase either, do I? I want Thursday Cup segment 2. There we go. Thursday Cup segment 2 standings. Now we're in the right spot. So it looks like I've got a 26-point lead over BSR Mayhem. Mayhem did move up a spot to take over second place from Pockets with that win on Thursday night, down by 26. Pockets in third place, down by 30. Hot Rod in fourth place, down by 32. And Eddie D rounding out the top 5, down by 40 points. And we were talking about this before we rolled here with the spotter stand. Mayhem at 26 points back. It's very close right now in bonus points. I believe I've only got 3 points on Mayhem if we were to go into the chase right now. So 26 points back. That's feasible really in 6 races. I mean, it's a long shot, but all it takes is one bad race for me to get last place or close to last place. And he makes up half of that in one race easily. So with 6 races left to go, it's possible Mayhem could take over this lead and get that. We know at the end of the segment, we have segment bonus points. The top person in the points at the end of segment 2 is going to get 2 bonus points. The rest of the top 5 are all going to get 1 bonus point. So if we were to go into the chase right now, I would get 2 for being in the lead. Mayhem would get 1 for the second place, which would move me to about 4 points ahead of him. But if he somehow manages to take that lead over, which I would bet would include at least another win or 2 somewhere in these 6 races, we could go into the chase tied. Yeah, last year's Cup champion, BSR Mayhem, I would like to have a much better cushion than 3 or 4 points going into the chase. But, hey, last 10 races is what it's all about.
Hey, well, what are the chances of you losing by 1 point? Has that ever happened before?
Maybe.
I was just gonna throw that out here, Mayhem. He said it would be a long shot. Well, a long shot, I think you were going into the last race of the chase last year when he blew 4th gear. Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, how many points was it last year going into the final race? I think it was something like 7 or 8 points.
I was just about to say that. Yes,
I was
sir.
going to say around 10, so
Yeah.
that's like almost half of what he needs now. So that was 1 race.
Yeah, I had
I know
decent
that's
lead.
See, we're talking about 1 point separation, and you're making a deal about having that 1 extra point for leading the segment. And although that would be great if I could, I'm more focusing on what's going to happen at the end of this segment going into the chase with the bonus points, and not just that segment point, but just not trying to do too much to gain that lead. I'm more concerned with staying in second place and
maintaining
winning a
it.
race or 2 and getting some more bonus points, maybe keeping you out of victory lane, and that'll just keep us much closer starting the chase. So I'm not concerned more about that point, although history would say I really should be concerned about it. I'm trying not to think about that.
Yeah, 1 point, like I said, last season I had a good cushion going into the last race. I had a great car. I was leading a lot of that race at Homestead last year, and it looked like I had it wrapped up. But then, problems happen. 4th gear blows. Coming out of the pits one time, go up into 4th gear, and boom, it's gone. And after that, I did manage to stay in it for a while, running in just 3rd gear, but eventually the engine gave out, and I was completely out of that race. So, yeah, anything can happen, and losing by 1 point, yeah, I'm thinking about every single bonus point I could possibly get going into that chase, just because 1 point is 1 point, and I have lost the championship by 1 point, so I'm going to get everyone I can.
So this year you're going to have 2 third gears that equal 4th. A third and a 4th is the same gearing.
We don't run Homestead this year, so it won't matter.
That's all right. I might do that at Phoenix.
I
I already beat you to that, man. I thought about that last year.
knew that was coming.
All right, so let's go ahead and move over. Let's go back to our schedule here. We have got coming up this week. It will be New Hampshire coming up in the Cup Series on Thursday night. Wednesday we'll be running some dirt, and Thursday we're going to be running in at New Hampshire. So not much banking at New Hampshire, kind of a flat track. That's going to be an interesting race coming up here, race number 8 of segment 2. And speaking of dirt, let me go back over right quick and take a look at this dirt series schedule. We'll take a look at the 2 races we have got coming up before our next chase race. If I can find the dirt series here. There it is. I've got it.
One down.
So we're only 6 races of 14 into this dirt series so far, and we've got Terre Haute. Am I saying that right? Haute? Hot?
Yep.
Terre Haute.
Terre Haute.
Terre
No,
Haute.
say hoe, just like a hoe. Terre Haute.
Terre Haute.
Terre Haute coming up on Wednesday night in the dirt, and the week following that will be Orange County that we'll be racing at before we get back into our chase race in the truck series. So we got 2 weeks of dirt coming up Wednesday night, and then this Thursday night we will be at New Hampshire. And let's go over and take a look at Friday night's Xfinity Series.
I want to go back to the Cup schedule just for a second, even if you don't go to it.
Got it.
You were talking about trouble, and we got Pocono coming up. Not this week, but the following week. You finished 8th at Pocono last time we were there with the dominant car, led the most laps. So trouble could be in your forecast.
You know, that
Yeah,
race
way
was
to boost his confidence.
that race was just a few weeks ago. Yeah, I see where I did get the pole. Momo took the win. Let's go over here to this race results. I finished 8th. I led 51 laps, ended up finishing 3 laps down. I'm guessing that was some sort of pit incident. Maybe
No,
black
that was
flag.
wrong. That was long run car caught you
Well, I was
with a
3.
caution.
I was 3 laps down. Okay, so that's right. Long run car stayed out, and I got caught after pitting. That's what happened? That
Yes,
would
sir.
put me 1 lap down, but not 3. Something else must have happened to me in that race. To
Who
put me
finished
3
second
laps
in that
down.
race?
Mike Coulon finished second in that race.
Yes, sir.
And where did Mayhem? Mayhem finished 5th place. 5th place.
That probably was definitely a caution related deal. I remember my
He
car
got
being
caught
pretty
in the
good.
pit. He got caught in the pits too, off cycle. Got caught in the pits, lap down.
Yep.
He didn't-
I knew I didn't think I had a winning car, but I knew it was much faster than it's ever been. And I'm looking forward to not dealing with that crap. But hey, you never know when that shows up in a race. You gotta plan accordingly.
I see Momo had a decent car as well. He did lead 11 laps. Mike Coulon led 9 laps. I know Mike had a great car as well. I think he was taking it easy at most of the beginning of those runs. And he I believe, if I recall right, he was catching toward the end of the runs.
Yes. Mike had a really good long run car. He just mistimed it.
So yeah, that's going to be coming up here.
Well, that was the race Momo had. He had damage or something, and he was still fast.
Oh
Wasn't it?
yeah, he dominated that race. He killed everybody in that race. He had a dominant car in that race.
Yeah, if I remember, he was great on, straight up from the start of the race, whereas a lot of cars
Yeah.
are really loose first lap or so, having to take it a little bit easy. Momo's just able to get into gas right away and stay in it. So New Hampshire coming up this week, Pocono the week after that. Then we'll be at Michigan. I love Michigan. That's a great track. Watkins Glen, the last road course in the segment. And we'll move over to Dover.
Ain't worried about that because every road course we ran so far, you shot yourself in the foot. So
Which
I expect the trend to keep going there.
now, that to me that means I'm due. I'm due to not have problems at a road course. So maybe I'll get the next few road courses through without any issues, hopefully. Especially Watkins Glen. I mean, that's the longest standing NASCAR track road course other than Sonoma.
Yeah, but the problem is you'll get a 20-second lead on everybody and not be able to slow down. You've got to push to get a faster lap. That's
I'm
where
not
your
going to let him
problem
get no
comes in.
20-second lead. I promise you that.
Well, that's just the operative word there, let. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to Friday night. And let's take a look at Friday night's Xfinity race at Kentucky. Mayhem again with the dominant car in the Xfinity Series. Took the pole and took the win on Friday night. So did sweep the week at Kentucky. Won Wednesday night, Thursday night, and Friday night. Couldn't ask for more than that, except for maybe if you could have took a win on Saturday night in the team series as well. But you swept the week at Kentucky, had a great car all 3 nights, and congratulations, man. Great job. That doesn't happen very often for any of us.
No, sir. And I look back. Thank you. I did not sweep the All-Star weekend last year. I did not win on Friday, so this was my first sweep. But I made I took my Wednesday setup, and I made it even better. I adjusted the gear. I fixed what I thought, in the long run where I was a little tight, and it was better than it was on Wednesday. And I'm loving that track.
I promise you, everybody on Friday had their sets better than they were on Wednesday.
Yes, I made tweaks to mine. I had it a little bit better. Hell, even at the end of that race,
But we were wide live at one time at the end of that race.
I put on 65 tape, and I still didn't have anything for you at the end of that race. So,
I went up to 70 on that last run because it was only a few laps. I pitted where some guys didn't, and that was one heck of a finish. Once we restarted, and I was 4th. I just said I don't think I'm going to win. It's going to take a stroke of luck, and there was a lot of chaos and mayhem up front, and things worked out for me. But that was not. I wasn't for sure going to win that race because you can't just run over somebody, and they don't. There's really only a few grooves on that track, and if they hold the line, you can't go around them in the open spaces like the track. You cannot run the extreme high line. You cannot really run right above the apron. The track won't even allow it. So the skies opened up, and I was able to get my way in there.
I believe it was a 3-wide pass for the win on this race. Was that Thursday night?
Yeah, no, it was Friday for sure.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, it was 4 or 5 wide.
I remember going back and looking at some of the racing that was going on at the end, and back for around 4th place, Palmian, Gear Jammer, Pockets, and one other car were having a great race back there. I mean, they were all really close to one another, side by side racing, and there was some good racing that whole race, but especially toward the end of it, there was a lot of great racing going on. Let's go take a look at our race results from Friday night's Xfinity race.
That's Mayhem with the win. Pocket 2nd, Gear 3rd, Eddie D 4th, and the rookie rounds out the top 5.
Yeah, BSR Pockets.
Who?
He was behind. He was like 6 cars behind, and he watched that whole melee happen. He slowed down and waited for everything to clear up, and he got through and made it to 2nd. It was pretty awesome.
Who?
I've done that once or twice.
Who?
Who got 2nd place?
Well, that was tricky right there. That was a tricky deal. Did you see my car? I was pretty proud to bring that car home 2nd. It was just that last deal. Yeah, I just turned underneath it and drove right past it. Gear almost caught me though.
We got lucky, that's for sure.
Look at
Yes.
that! Look at that pattern right below there. The where the cars started and finished at. You had 1st place and 4th place straight lines. They finished where they started, and the rest of it, the guys that started toward the front finished toward the back. The guys that started toward the back finished toward the front. So that's a pretty unique finishing order there from where everybody started.
Looks good to me.
So let's go to the standings here. Segment 2. looks like I am in the lead. It is close in this series. Pockets with the second place finish, gaining up a little bit on the lead. Only 7 points back in second place. Hot Rod in third, down by 20. Eddie D in fourth, down by 29, and Gear Jammer in fifth, down by 54. So look at that, Pockets. You're only 7 points off the top spot right now in segment 2. Let's go back over to the schedule. What kind of races we have coming up here? 5 races left to go. We're gonna
Phoenix.
New Hampshire,
New Hampshire
Rhoda, Watkins Glen, and then
and
Dover.
Dover. You know,
Dover.
7 points ain't far. Yeah, that's for the 2 bonus points at the end of that segment. New Hampshire, kind of a flat
Yeah.
track. Iowa, that's a toss up.
Yeah.
Rhoda, you know, if I don't shoot myself in the
Shoot
foot
yourself
like
in the
I
foot
have at
again?
every other road course, I have a pretty good
And like I
chance
hope
there.
you do.
Yep. Yeah. And if Larry's prediction is right and the trend continues, we've got Road America and Watkins Glen right up next to each other in this series. If I have a bad race in both of those races, that's 2 races where you could gain several points on me right there. You could very easily take that top spot away before we end this segment and get that 2 bonus points heading into the chase. I know you've done well in the bonus points in this series as well, so that could make a big difference. You know, getting that 2 bonus points for the win in this segment.
And you don't like Dover that much, but you've started to like it a little more, I think, haven't you? Or
Yeah,
you're okay with it. Then the trucks, just the cars, the cup cars.
yeah, that's right. Actually, the trucks, I haven't ever really necessarily ran that badly. I'm usually okay in the trucks. It was the cup, but I've changed my setup over the last season or so. I used to, Dover was one of those races where I would start out great. The first 8 or 10 laps of the run would be great. But as the run went on, my car would get so loose, I just couldn't drive it. And I would always have to pit.
User in your channel.
I would have to
timed
pit
out.
10 to 12 laps before the end of the fuel run. And that's what would always get me every time. I would have to pit so early, I'd end up having to pit 1 extra time than everybody else because my car was just so loose at the end. I think I've got that kind of straightened out now, but it's still not one of my greatest tracks. You know, Dover, I still struggle there.
Yeah, but we got Iowa coming. That's not a good track for Pocket. We got New Hampshire coming. He ain't particularly caring for that.
You know, I'm not real mad at. I'm not mad at. I'm not mad at New Hampshire the way I used to be. I think it's one of those. I will tell you this. I think everybody has their struggles at New Hampshire, and you just gotta drive through it and just do as good as you can in the race. That's one of those tracks where if you come out with a podium finish, that's probably going to be very, very good for you because others may not. It just depends on, you know, these top race teams, how much preparation they've made for that track. Because I can tell you, I'm not going to New Hampshire to practice, but the bright spot on the rest of that schedule for me is Dover because I love Dover. I'm okay at Dover. I like the road courses. Hit or miss there. You know how a road course is. It just depends on what happens during the race. You know what I mean? You can benefit or you can.
I love New Hampshire. I like flat tracks in general. So,
But all I'm gonna say is Pockets has started more Iowa races lately than he has finished.
I can't wait for Iowa again. I'm loving that track, and I'm excited to be able to compete on Friday night for the first time in the chase. Actually, have some sort of chance.
It's going to be interesting to see. Pockets is going to have to struggle through Iowa, so we're going to hear a lot of cussing on that one.
New Hampshire is more about driving style than it is setup to me.
Yeah, you
Got
got
to
to
save that right front tire.
save that tire and be able to roll the middle of that corner, keeping the speed up through the middle of the corner and being able to get a good exit.
I drive that different than most people. If you want to drive one of my setups fast there, you have to be off the throttle mid-turn. and it feels like you're going like so dreadfully slow, but you're not, because you're right at the bottom and you just run out really hard. So
Well, that's going to be an interesting race coming up this week at New Hampshire. We got some new drivers we've never run against at New Hampshire, like Mike, and it's going to be interesting. We're going to see how everybody's able to pull a race together. And
Stack up.
I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, it's great. Maybe this will be another win for Mike Coulon in the Cup Series. I believe you've got, what, 3, 4 wins already? You've got several in this Cup Series.
3, I think, and a couple on the platter tracks. But I mean, I like Michigan too coming up. That's going to be a fun track. It's always a fun track. Pocono's fun. You know, I wish the tracks we have the next 5 or 6 weeks were in the Chase. Some of the tracks in like the Truck Series Chase are not my strongest races, so I'm probably going to fall off a little bit there in the truck side. But
So how are you at the road courses? We haven't got to run a road course with you yet.
I'm okay. I'm. If I had to describe, you know, of the main, you know, you talk about Infineon and Watkins Glen, I'm good, but I'm not great. I'm usually the guy that's going to finish like 4th or 5th, or maybe you can pull out some strategy to finish 3rd or something. I'm not a guy that usually would tend for a win at one of those places. It's just try to stay in the track and see how many other people make mistakes, you know.
So I believe we've got Canadian Tire coming up on Wednesday night. That will probably be the first road course that we get a chance to run with you on, and that's a tough one. That's that one that's got the
Yes, sir. That
the-
one's
it's
I've
got
never run there, so that's not going to do me any favors.
there are
that one's tricky.
several places it's easy to run off into the grass, at that track, especially once your tires start to wear. And there's one spot in particular. I believe you do race in car, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and so do I, and several other of us do. There's an uphill right-hand turn, and then a very, very short straightaway. It's no more than a couple car lengths long to the next right-hand turn. And as you come up that hill on that right-hander, you can't see the track in front of you, and you can't really see that turn. You just kind of have to know where it is.
Yep, you got to blind it.
Yeah, and that's the toughest spot on that track by far. No matter what view you run in, it is a little bit easier to handle if you run outside the car, like the roof view or the chase view, because you will be able to at least see the track and see the turn. But for those of us that run in a car, you can't see that track, you can't see that turn, and you got to know where it's at to be able to hit it just right. So that's a tough spot and a tough track. It's going to be a lot of fun.
If you've run it for years and years, you know it. But yeah, for the newer guys, it's definitely a tougher in car.
Yeah, there are some guys that I see run that. Yeah, there is a little bit of extra concrete. Like when you come up that hill, there's a little sort of a, what do you call it, a speed bump or something there on the left, but there is some concrete outside of that. And I've seen guys that will come up that turn, use that extra concrete on the other side of that bump to get a wider turn down into that next one. And that seems to work pretty well if you're able to do it. You know, you can hold up a little more speed and get a great turn and run off of that right-hand corner.
Yeah, it kind of works like a bank.
I think he needs to sell some guitars and get a better TeamSpeak.
Yeah, so it doesn't keep falling out of there.
He talks about how great his computer is. Can't even stay. What's going on with that? What's he on his phone?
Well, computer's probably fine. It's the internet connection. This
Yeah,
messing with it.
maybe.
Maybe just sell a guitar and get a better internet connection.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. Get that upgrade. You know, they got that $100 extra a month package or something.
It's probably storming there.
What's up, Vito? I see you chiming in
the
out there.
bonus points?
No.
Hey, Vito.
We're getting ready to get into
Or
that.
the Wednesday chase?
No, we did the Wednesday,
Okay.
the chase points. Yeah, we did that right.
Oh.
We finished that up right before you came in. If you'd like to go back before we go to Saturday night, we can go visit the.
Just a real quick look. Since
Yep.
we're going to go to bonus points and all that other stuff, just redo that real quick. Let me look and see, because I just barely missed that because I don't even know where we're at.
Gotcha. So here is the Wednesday chase schedule back up again, and
And while
Obviously,
you're going there, I just want to remind everybody that is listening that we are going to have El Doro up in the trucks for practice tomorrow. Go ahead, Texas.
all right. So
I
That's
will be there.
Chase.
yeah, this
Chase.
is Wednesday truck chase. Mayhem with the pole and the victory. Back over to the race results. This will show the actual points that everybody received. So, like I was saying earlier when we did this, these points that it shows right here for the race is your race points with your bonus points added into it. That's how we are able to figure in the bonus points. After the first race of the chase is over, all of your bonus points you had going into that race are added to your first race points, and that's where we get our standings from. So it'll be the same way for Thursday and Friday night. We'll have to first complete the first race of the chase. Once that's done, we'll add the bonus points to your race points, which will give us the standings. And as you can see, if you look down here at the bottom, Gear Jammer, who did have technical difficulties and not able to make the race on Wednesday night, gets his 1 provisional for the truck series. So he got 11th place points and got his bonus points added into that. So we'll move back over and take a look at the standings.
And while you're doing that, anybody that's in that has bonus points coming that didn't run the race, you'll get them when you run your first race.
Right. So once you,
Especially throw in for provisional.
if you didn't make this first race, when you race your first race in the chase, your bonus points will be added to those points. And if you miss the first race and you make the second one, you want to request that provisional for the first race, then you will also get provisional points for the first race.
They got to ask for that before the next chase race. Because they got to go in this one.
And so we'll remind everybody coming up through this week here and before this next chase race that, if you want provisionals for the one race, if you didn't make it, you make sure that Larry's able to get them in there before we do the points for the next race. And like I said, if you didn't make this race when you had bonus points heading into the chase, after you've raced your first race, we'll be able to add your bonus points to that. But currently, this is how the points stand in the chase. I've got a 6-point lead over Mayhem, 16-point lead over SS Joba. Pockets and Momo tied for 4th place, backed by 17 points. Eddie D in 5th, backed by 18. Gear Jammer and Hot Rod tied for 7th place, down by 24. Palmian in 9th place, down by 25. And Mike Coulong and Sean Fredericks tied for 10th, down by 26. 9
That's
races.
after the first race.
After the first race with the bonus points added in. So your bonus points have already been added in here. This is where everybody stands right now.
Yeah, I'll be able to race Eldora my weekend or Wednesday off.
Yeah. You want a provisional? Do you want a provisional, Donna, for the first race? If not, it's no big deal either way because you're not going to make them all anyway.
Exactly. It doesn't matter because because of my work schedule, I'm not going to be able to make every race anyway. So,
But I'll put it in if you want it.
Hey,
it doesn't matter.
might as well put it in there and give him as many points as he can get anyway.
If I was Donna, I'd wait till they're a real short race. Whether that one was pretty short, there was only be 12th place, so I think I'd wait to see where somebody don't show up, maybe get, you know what I mean?
10th place points or something.
10th or
Donna,
9th, yeah.
Donna, I'm not so sure you couldn't bring your wheel to work and hook it up to your computer and race.
No, that would definitely be frowned upon. I can sit there and watch YouTube if the machine's running good, but
well, I mean, you could pit and go fix the machine if it broke. I mean,
that's the thing. There's no telling if or when the machine will break.
I have seen times where I believe you could have raced the whole race sitting in the parking lot in your truck smoking cigarettes also. So that would be kind of tricky to get it set up. But if you could get a Wi-Fi hotspot or something, maybe you could pull that off. I knew a guy that I knew a guy that I've told this story many times. Wicked Ways. He worked at one of those government liquor stores in South Carolina that his brother ran, and he would break down his computer, monitor the whole everything, take it to work, race while he was at work, and then break it all down and take it back home every day.
That's a chore
That's a
right
little
there.
too much. Yeah, that's a little too much for me.
But you could always hook a laptop up, go there, and start work.
Yeah, I can tell you this. I can tell you this. I've never really had much luck, and I don't suggest anybody put their PC in a vehicle because for some reason the vibrations in there will ruin that thing.
Well, let's go take a look at Saturday night team series. We just finished up the 41st season of this Saturday night team series. That's 410 official races in the Saturday night team series, not counting all the in-between weeks, the off weeks, the fun runs, everything that goes ahead of it. So these are 10 race series. This is number 41. This series has been going on since I can remember. And we just finished up another season. We'll be heading into season 42 here in just a couple of weeks. So the last race, Mafia did take the win. Looks like I took the pole for the Yingling team, and BSR Momo took the victory for the Black Car Mafia. And I know the Mafia, man, you guys had a great race this past race, and I bet you guys wish you had run a few more like this, because y'all had you had 3 cars up in the top 5, I believe, at the end of this race.
They were running 1, 2, 3
Yeah,
for like the last 10 laps.
yeah. SS Joba was in there for the Aftershock team, and I was in there for the Yingling team. And both of us trying to get as good a run as we could there at the end of the race to get the best finish we could get and try to somehow break the Mafia up. And apparently the Mafia had a plan running 1, 2, 3 that they were going to go 3 wide at the end of the race to block the whole track, make sure we couldn't get by them. And they did that. They spread those cars out. SS was able to get up there and get a pretty good run. I think he finished 2nd place, 3rd place, something like that. And I believe I finished in 5th. Let's go over here and take a look at our results from the Saturday night team series. Black Car Mafia, number 54, Momo, taking the win. 47 laps led. So he dominated the front of that pack, leading 47 laps. Got his team maximum points, the bonus point for leading the most laps, 48 points to the Mafia. And Aftershock, it was SS. Looks like he brought home the 3rd place finish. So Mafia did take 1, 2, and 4. 3 out of the top 5 positions. So Aftershock bringing home 42 points for the 3rd place finish. And Yingling, it was myself finishing in 5th place, bringing home 40 points.
Yeah, and I was right on your tail at 6th.
Yeah, so the Mafia makes up a total of 8 points. They were in last going into this final race, but I think they were down by 15. They made up 8 of those points in this one race. And Aftershock, I believe, was down by 7 or 8 points. They were only able to gain 2 at the end of this race. But Mafia gained 6 up on the Aftershock team, so it should put them a lot closer. Let's go see how this ended up. Season 41, it was the Yingling team that took the championship. Season 41 of the team series. Aftershock finished in 2nd, down by 6, and the Mafia in 3rd, down by 7. So I got to say, those points look a lot better than they did last week. They were pretty spread out, with Aftershock being down by 8 and the Mafia down by 15. It's good to see this series end as close as it did. That's the way they usually play out here in this team series. Teams are usually stacked up so evenly that a lot of times it comes down to the final race, and points are always close at the end of this. So 6 points back, 7 points back. That's a pretty good finish for all 3 of these teams. I'd say another great season of team racing behind us, and we're all looking forward to season 42 coming up here in a few weeks. How how are we gonna do that? We're gonna take the week off this week, and next week we're gonna have a team pick and fun run.
Meet and greet is the second week. Yeah. So off this week, meet and greet would be the following week with team pick. Right, Pockets?
Say it again.
This week we're off. The following week will be a fun run with team pick and meet and greet, right?
We actually have 2 weeks off, and then the great pick. If y'all want to shorten that, we can. I don't really see no reason at this point, at this juncture, to delay it 2 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, 1 week off and then meet and greet pick the very next week. That sounds good to me. I think that would actually put this series running pretty close to the rest of them, wouldn't it?
I think it.
I see Momo chiming in out there, off 2 weeks. What's your vote, Momo? You want to shorten it up, do off 1 week and then pick? Or do you want to do off 2 weeks and then pick? Because really that second week, if we pick teams, that's...
Well, remember, in the middle of this, you're going to have an off week in the middle for Labor Day.
Right. So, I mean, that second week, if we pick teams that second week, it's still off because that race doesn't actually count towards points. It's just a meet and greet race. So, I mean, if we do 2 weeks and then pick teams, then it's basically 3 weeks without a points race. But, yeah, Momo chiming in out there, he doesn't care. Whatever you guys want to do, I'm fine with it, however you want to do it.
That make the first points race August 1st.
There's absolutely no reason for us to take 2 weeks off on Saturday night any longer due to the changes that we've had in our league. That was based on different category, different time. We can change that to 1 week off. It makes more sense to do it that way because we're just floundering for 2 weeks because people aren't as apt to participate in a quote unquote fun run as they are a points paying race series.
Absolutely.
And so yes, let's utilize the time we have more wisely and do 1 week off. That way, we used to do that so that people could kind of plan their schedule. Like if, hey, you want to take the kids out to Disney World or whatever, I'm off 2 weeks. For the people who are seriously dedicated to that series, I don't really, because we offer the ability to miss 3 out of 10 races. It's really not that much of a factor anymore. So let's do that. I'll type up something and let everybody know.
All right. So we will have a fun run this coming up Saturday at one of the super speedway tracks. And then the following week, then we will likely be picking the new teams for season 42. Same way we have always done it. Those teams will be picked randomly. There's no team pick, so they're done randomly. We do the 1, 2, 3 times reset, and on that fourth one, those are the teams. However you get randomly qualified in, that order will be your teams. Hopefully, we will have at least 12 drivers like we did this last season, and we can once again have 3 teams of 4. That's what we've had the last 2 seasons since we brought the old team names back, the Black Car Mafia and the Aftershock teams. And heck, we might as well stick with the Yingling team. It seems to be sticking in there. The red, white, and blue cars, everybody likes those. So if we decide to stick with these same 3 teams, and we'll get divided up randomly, and we'll have 3 more teams of hopefully 4 drivers each team. And your best finisher will count points for your team, that particular, whatever race we're in. So,
Oh, that's going to suck for Donald.
Why was that?
We're going back to Daytona.
Damn it, man.
Sorry, buddy.
Well, I'll be here for the fun run, but I won't be here for the meet greet pick teams.
that's okay.
No, but the first points race is Daytona, and that's where you'll be at.
We know
Shit.
you want to be on a team, and
Yeah.
as we've always done, if you're not able to make it on the night of the team pick, but you do want to be on a team, all you've got to do is let somebody know, and we'll make sure that you get put in there on one of these teams. So
Yeah.
So let's go on and take a look at bonus points. We've got one less bonus point to look at this week because the Truck Series is now in the chase. I am, however, still going to throw. No, I'm not. I thought I had the bonus points up there for the truck, but it looks like I don't. So these are your Xfinity Series Friday night bonus points as they stand. Mayhem, with the victory on Friday night, moves up to a total of 5 victories over there in the winner race box. Looks like I've got 4 over there in the winner race, but I did win Spring, Texas and Michigan. So it looks like I've got a total of 6 wins on Friday night. Mayhem total of 5 wins on Friday night. And if you look over in the overall bonus points, I currently hold the lead there as well with 26. Pockets in second place right now with 21 points. Pockets, you're only 4 points or 5 points off the lead going into the chase in this bonus points. That's part of the reason I was talking about that segment thing. You're only, what, 6, 7 points off the lead right now in this Xfinity Series. If you could somehow move up and take over the lead and get those 2 bonus points for the segment versus the 1, that definitely would help your case there. And if you're able to pick up another win somehow, another win or 2 towards the end of this segment, right now you're only 5 points off the lead heading into the chase. SS Joba is currently in third with 18 bonus points, puts him 8 points off the lead. Mayhem, with the win on Friday night, moved up to 17 bonus points total, 9 points off the lead. For a driver like Mayhem, 9 points is not that many. So Mayhem with a good shot on Friday night. Like he said, normally before this COVID thing hit, Mayhem was committed on Friday night to doing shows and was hardly ever able to make a race on Friday night, but he's been able to get into quite a few of these races this season, and he's got himself up there in the bonus points, and it's going to be competition come chase time with BSR Mayhem being so close and being able to make all 10 of the chase races. And Mike, I wish you and Sean would be able to race more on Friday night. Be great to have that extra competition in there come chase time. It really makes a difference, when you got 1 or 2 extra people running up there at the front going for a win. Let's go to Thursday night. Thursday night's bonus points as they stand. Mayhem once again taking a win, moving himself up to 5 over there in the winner race box. But Mayhem also won the Spring Texas race, picking up 3 bonus points for that. So Mayhem actually has a total of 6 wins in this Cup Series. That's pretty good. He's doing great. 6 victories in the Cup Series. Next closest is myself. I've got 4 wins over there in the winter race, and I won Michigan, which gives me a total of 5. So I'm still a win behind Mayhem here in the Cup Series. And Mike Coulong doing a great job. 3 victories already in this Cup Series since he started racing with us toward the end of segment 1. So I think we were talking about that last week with Mike's win ratio and the amount of races he's actually been to. It's above 25%. I think somewhere between 30 and 40% win ratio over the races that he's actually ran. He's won 3 of them. So that's pretty damn good. And the other ones you didn't win, you finished up there in the top 5. So excellent, consistent finishing.
Right.
Plus, you got some bonus points in the All-Star race. I see you finished second in the All-Star race. You got 2 bonus points out of that one as well. And you did have a few races in the last segment. So you got a total of 7 bonus points right now. I think you made 2 races in the first segment before that one ended. And then you got your 3 victories and the 2 bonus points for the All-Star race.
Are there any more bonus races coming up, or is that it for the?
That's it. The only
We're
other
done.
bonus points for this series is either going to be for victories or for the segment. If you're in the top 5 at the end of the segment, the leader will get 2 bonus points, and the rest of the top 5 will all get 1 bonus point. So those are the only other bonus points up for grabs before we head into the chase. Right now, you are a little bit better off than you are on Wednesday nights. We looked at Wednesday night's points. You were currently 26 points back after race number 1. Currently, you are
21.
21 points off of the lead going into the chase. And you've got some opportunities for a few more victories to close that down a little bit more. So I would look for you to be closer after race number 1 of the Cup chase. You'll be a lot closer to the lead than you are on Wednesday night currently. So, and 20 points over 10 races, you can definitely do that. That can be done. Unless the guys up at the top all have good consistent races for the whole 10 races, you could easily make up 20 points and win a championship here. That's part of why we do these bonus points the way we do, is we like to give everybody an opportunity to race for that championship at the end. And if somebody who's come in a little before the halfway point of the season does well enough, you're going to go into the chase with a little bit of a disadvantage, but it's not terrible. You still have the opportunity to win that championship, even though you miss the first 10 races or so. So that's part of the reason we do these bonus points the way we do, is we like to give everybody an opportunity at the end in the last 10 races. So Mayhem, though, with the victory, moves himself up to 25 bonus points total. He's only three bonus points off the lead right now as we head into this Cup chase, and that's not enough for me. I'd like to have a little bit better lead than that, but we'll have to deal with the rest of these races and see how it goes. He's currently sitting in second place in the Cup standing, so I know he's going to get at least 1 more. If I'm able to hold on to the lead in the segment, I will get 2 bonus points for that lead. So that would give me a total of 4. If neither one of us wins any more races for the rest of this segment, we'll go into the Cup chase separated by 4 points, which is pretty damn close considering there's 10 races in that chase. SS Joba also doing pretty well here, currently sitting at 21 bonus points, only 7 points off the lead. And SS, it's no slouch. He does pretty well at the road courses as well. So SS could have a pretty good finish as we come into Watkins Glen coming up in the road course here in this chase, or in this segment 2. SS could pull off a victory there, as well as maybe 1 or 2 of these other tracks. He's got a shot for a win. So I would expect to see him move up in those bonus points a little bit before we actually go into the chase. Pockets, you're not doing too bad here either in the Cup Series. You're sitting at 20. So you're currently only 8 points off the lead in chase points.
We try every week. We're still digging. I was talking to Gear about it earlier, and I was saying, or the last couple of days, and I was telling him, you want to try as hard as you can in each one of these races, but don't be realistic about it. It's a whole new ball game. We're all racing to see what we can gain and what kind of advantage we can gain to go into those last 10 races, because that's where it's all. This is all a precursor to the chase. I mean, you do what you can to try to put as many of those bonus points in your pocket to carry into the chase. So I tell them, don't get too discouraged at a race in the middle of one of these segments, because in the big picture, it's not a death nail. You know what I mean? If you have a bad couple of races or something like that, yes, you do want to capitalize on as many bonus points as you can because we have seen it come down very close. But those 10 races are a brand new day. And that's what you need to remember. You have a chance to correct all your mistakes, rectify, get up on the wheel, do the best you can in those last 10 races because that's where the champion is determined right there, those last 10 races.
Yes, and a lot of times it comes down to that last race, like last
Yeah,
season.
Mr. Fourth Gear.
Yes.
Yeah, you're going to want to be, you're going to want to compete in everything changes in them last 10 races. That's why Wednesday night is a perfect example. I remembered after about the first caution or something, I'm like, hey, this is a chase, ain't it? And they're like, yeah, it's first race. I immediately started driving differently than I do. You know what I mean? Because you have to, because you don't have that fallback of, well, this is just a segment race and we're actually just the maximum you can get out of here is even if you finished as great as you possibly could in the segment, what are you gaining out of there? 3-4 bonus points?
Yeah, and that's being a chase race. That's you got to think about everything. You got to think about trying to get the best finish you can, but at the same time, you don't want to put yourself in a situation where you could be involved in an incident and end up with a really bad finish. Also, leading a lap, it's something you might want to do during the regular segment just to keep yourself close to the top 5 for that segment point. But in the chase,
That's just bonus point.
And- yes,
Lap lead, that is a bonus point that you can get for yourself without any problem.
that's right.
Every point in the chase is a bonus point.
Yeah, every lap
on,
led,
Randy.
every single lap led, especially in that 10 race chase. If you lead a lap in every one of those races, even if you have to stay out under caution to do it, that's 10 points at the end of that chase. If you lead a lap in every one of those races, so that 10 points can definitely matter when it comes down to the last few races in the chase. So that's one of the things you got to think about when you realize, hey, we're in the chase. I need to make sure I lead a lap in this race, no matter where I finish. I need to lead a lap. And
That's why somebody got so upset.
yeah, and somebody else we should talk about here that we definitely can't count out in the chase is BSR Momo. I've seen him chiming in out there in the chat. He's been watching. Currently at 17 points. I know Momo would like to be sitting a lot better right now, heading in towards the chase, but Momo is pretty good at pretty much all of those tracks that we have in the chase. And last year, Momo finished in 3rd. It was one of the closest chase points. At the end of that race, Mayhem wins the championship by 1 point over myself, and I believe it was only 2 points over Momo. So every point definitely matters. 1 point to second place, 2 points to third place. Momo finished in 3rd, down by just 2 points at the end of the chase in the Cup Series last year. So we're gonna have to watch out for him at only 17 points back. 17 points, only 11 points off the lead right now. 11 points. Momo can make that up. He can have some good races in the chase. I'm sure he's going to be right there competing for that Cup championship at the end of the season.
Bob out.
Yeah, there he is. I plan on being there again. We know you do, man. We know you'll be there. No Homestead this time though. You gotta wrap it up at Phoenix this year. In all of these series, but in the Cups especially.
You do know that the Cup chase to top 5 was only 34 points separated, the whole top 5 at the end of last season. It was only 11 back to 4th, which was Pockets.
I got a feeling it's going to be even closer this season. I wouldn't be surprised if top 5 are all separated by 10 points or less. come the end of this chase in the Cup Series. It's going to be a great season.
I'm expecting it to be.
So we have got New Hampshire coming up on Thursday and Friday night, and Terre Haute coming up on Wednesday night in the trucks. And again, we'll have a fun run
Out in
on
the dirt,
Saturday night.
not in the truck.
Not in the
dirt.
truck, excuse me.
Not in the truck.
In the dirt, yes. So hopefully we'll get Mike. Are you going to be able to make it Wednesday night to the dirt race? You and Sean?
I'm pretty sure Sean will be there. I'm not sure if I am, but I'm tempted just to go ahead and start working on chase tracks in the truck series. You know, trying to get ahead of some of the tracks I've not run. There's 2 or 3 road courses that I've not run. The Canadian Tire. There's Road Atlanta. I've not done it. I've not done it in the NR 2003, so I kind of feel like I've got to do my diligence to try to do that. So we'll see. I might show up.
That Road America is a Friday night race, I believe. That is only
Yes,
in the
that
Xfinity
is
series.
only in the Xfinity. Yes,
Yeah.
that's in the segment, not in the chase.
Yeah, in the trucks, we do have the Canadian Tire and Watkins Glen coming up as far as the road courses go.
Watkins Glen in the truck chase? I don't think
Isn't
so.
Watkins Glen in there? It's,
No, I don't
no,
think
No,
Canadian Tires.
not.
That's right. We talked
The
about
only
that.
road course is Canadian Tire in the truck.
yep,
Yeah.
you got Gateway, and then Canadian Tire, Bristol, Las Vegas, Talladega, Martinsville, and then Phoenix.
Gateway's another one that I have not run in NR 2003 either. So
Well, on Wednesday night, that's the only night we run a fixed setup when we do the dirt series.
Yes,
We-
dirt spit.
We do that just because of tire pressures, basically. In the dirt, you're supposed
take
to
it'll probably give me good experience for me to do that. So maybe I'll be there.
you're supposed to have that low tire pressure in the dirt to get that
Yes.
car sideways and going around the track. But if we don't run fixed, you'll have guys that will
I
pump
jacked the
their
tire pressure up to get speed out of the car.
yeah, and it will work. I mean, you put the tire pressures up, and it'll run like you're running on an asphalt track almost. And so to keep it running like dirt, we run the fixed setup on Wednesday night. We don't turn cautions on just because there tend to be
A
you know,
lot.
a lot of people running
The
into
game-
each other, and
Not only that, when you're running in a tight group, when the car goes sideways, the game tends to throw a caution flag. So in the dirt, it automatically throws caution flags when the cars get sideways. So that's why we don't run them.
yeah, so just to cut down on the amount of laps we would be running under caution, we do what's called a gentleman's caution. If you have a self spin, no caution for a self spin. If there are contact between 2 cars and somebody spins, then we will just manually call out caution, and everybody will slow down. We'll go around 1 lap, give everybody a chance to catch back
And
up.
And with no damage on, and you have enough fuel at all our tracks except for one, so there's no need to pit. We don't even go a full lap most of the time. No need to pit.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so we, like I said, we'll give everybody a chance to catch up, and then the leader calls out the restart, 3, 2, 1, go. So generally, we only run 1 time around under caution to give everybody a chance to catch up. Sometimes it's 2 if it takes a minute for people to
Well,
catch up, but it keeps the number of laps running under caution to a minimum, and it works out pretty well. So
And
this-
the other thing is if you would go a lap down and you would be the lucky dog, you just run around. We'll tell you that you're lucky dog, and you just run around the racetrack, catch back up to the end of the field.
Except on the restarts, it's tight. All these cars are running close together, and sometimes it's hard for people not to run into each other. And even once you get past the restart and cars get in their line and in their groove, sometimes somebody just gets a little bit too sideways, and sometimes it pulls you down into that other car. So there tends to be a lot of front to back to front to back to front to back sort of stuff going on. You can race your way up toward the front of the pack and get involved in an incident and find yourself right back at the back and then back at the front again and back at the back. And it's pretty interesting. We have heat races. We used to do 2 heat races, but I think
Cut down to 1. Yep, we only do 1 now.
cut down to 1 heat race. The top 2 finishers in the heat race both get an extra point. They get a bonus point. Other than that, there's no bonus points for leading a lap or any extra points for winning the race or leading the most laps. It's just straight 1 point per finish in the
Yes,
dirt
and we also the top 2 in the heat, they get the bonus point. They don't get to qualify. And the winner from the previous dirt race doesn't get to qualify. So you could have 3 guys that can't qualify, everybody else can.
Usually we just end up with Larry doesn't get to qualify and one other random person who happens to win
Yeah.
the heat race.
Well, I don't get the qualify period usually because I either win or win the heat. So, or get second in the heat. So, generally why I can't.
All right, everybody, I got to duck out. Good luck. See y'all this week.
Oh,
Thanks
I need
everybody
you
for
a
being
minute.
here.
See your pockets.
I
for a
will.
minute
I'll be
or
right
two.
back. I just got to step away.
All right.
Well, that's really about all we've got for everybody this week. We've covered everything. Started the Chase and the Truck series. Covered all the rest of the series. Ended season 41 in the Saturday Night Team Series. So don't forget, Wednesday night we are going to be in the dirt. Terre Haute. Thursday night we'll be at New Hampshire. Friday night we will also be at New Hampshire in the Cup and the Xfinity Series. And Saturday night we'll have a fun run in the Super Speedway Series before we pick new teams the following week after that. So I appreciate all you guys that tuned in out there live and watching us, and appreciate all you guys coming in and participating here on TeamSpeak. And with that, we will see you guys on the track Wednesday. Oh, wait, one more thing. We will have Eldora up for practice tomorrow night. Regular time, regular race time, 7 o'clock. We'll have the server up sometime around 7 Central, 8 Eastern, for practice at Eldora, which will be the next upcoming race in the Chase for the truck. So
It'll probably be up 7 Eastern. So, just
7.
saying.
Okay. So yeah, if you'd like to get in some practice for Eldora,
I'll
don't
be there.
forget, come out tomorrow night, and we'll have some practice going for that. And other than that, we'll see you guys this Wednesday night on the track at Terre Haute. Y'all have a good one.
Later.
See ya.
See you.